I think I set everything up correctly, and if I didn't, well, I'm just gonna make a cut, I guess. But as we get this, well, we're working on a new character, so really all I'm trying to check is whether or not we have quote-unquote character-exclusive perks, which means 2 custom mysteries, or we have all perks, which means 3 custom mysteries, and whether or not we have random item stats. And that's not the case, so pretty normal, well, normal quote-unquote settings as we go into our next character and move on with life. So, without further ado, for the sake of time stamps, yes, I'm filling in time here, as we get into That's Not Right, because I did not set Amnesiac, and away we go. So, I hope I got the name right, because I just happened to play 2 characters back-to-back that have similar looking names, but definitely not the same type of pronunciation. So, finally, for timestamp's sake, as we get into Aaron Amnesiac, custom character. So the role here is whether or not we get the characters, well, the character, if you take them out from the Discord server, which is what I did, they start with a pocket knife, but the other side of that is you get 1 fund instead, which is, I think, arguably worse, but hey, light, because you get Doom, you spend Doom and funds to get the pocket knife, and you have to be lucky. Light, dexterity, Takshi's strength, second mystery, maybe a charisma check? And by now, hopefully, I don't know why I was holding Q. By now, Jordan should have already put up, or future Jordan should have maybe put up a stream. And if he doesn't, it means that I did not do a thing that I was supposed to do. So that's on me, but we'll see. And if not, well, nothing happens. Actually, no, now that I think about it, if I were to affect the future, I don't think it's going to be true. But since we have 2 custom mysteries, we're just looking for battlefields, which we do. And then we take the rightmost mystery. So we have battlefields, murderer, sailors, mermaids, and teacher, all in-game, because I know that certain words trigger robots, and I just want to be very, very safe, because I can't take the risk. Teacher, mermaids. Teacher, mermaids, sailors. So teacher, murderer, and battlefields. Because I want to take battlefields first. I will battlefields just take it now. And we'll see what happens. Now, keep in mind, we don't have a weapon, and we have a negative 150 doom, so if this character has something like Fast Swimmer, boy oh boy, are we going to have a bad time. So, we do start with the Lost Wallet, which helps us, sometimes, because if it's empty, you don't get anything. But I forgot the exact effects. I'm sure one of them is funds, and if that happens, then that saves quite a bit of doom. So all things considered, I mean, on a scale, I do think Amnesiac is well balanced. It's more on the difficult side, but obviously, if we're looking at, the balance of a backstory, whether it makes sense, like if a backstory is meant to be hard, or if it's meant to be easier, or if it's meant to cater to certain characters or certain playstyles and punish certain characters and certain playstyles, then yes, okay. In that regard, I do think Amnesiac does well. Aaron, on the flip side of that, does well because it's all RNG. So, as we get on here, which is something I was trying to test in the recent, the episode before this episode as well, but that didn't work. And for reference, or for the sake of saying it now, what I was trying to test for certain variable and function calls that are not tied to the Perm plugin because it uses a certain coding language. And I'll just leave it at that because, well, not much else to say. So I failed to roll twice there, so I took 5 Doom and 3 Stamina. But as we go into this next event, so I'm not gonna focus as much because I want to focus on this event. All I did was add a variable, and I know that because I added this. This is just text, but this means that I did change the eto file correctly, and I did test this before, but I made slight changes. So if anything breaks, you're gonna see me do a cut here. But otherwise, this option will open up. Unfortunately, I failed, but if I succeeded, then I would have. Overall, my Doom would have decreased by 3, which Aaron does for me anyway, but an extra decrease by 3 would help as well. So yeah. Now, all things considered, I should probably have put a second copy of the event just to show you what happens when you pass, but then there's no way to know for sure because I could just force the event to pass to kind of show the opposite effect, but that defeats the purpose of testing out whether or not you can random. So for those who don't know, there is a function within the Perm plugin called random_number. I should have tested actually the limits. I'm just going to say from 1 to 12 though. So for example, 1 to 6, I think the number indicates basically the success value that you're testing against. So if you set it to random 12 and the game rolls anything from 12 or below, then you succeed the check. But if you say do random 1, I need to focus for a moment here. If you say do random 1 and the game rolls 2 or above, you will fail the check. So it doesn't that's specific to the Perm plugin, and it doesn't have to deal with your stats. It's literally just a dice roll. which is nice. I wish there were, I wish that was available in base World of Horror, but we don't, so the next best thing is to use the Perm plugin. Now, that being said, just to kind of step out of the forest and kind of towards the sea, in terms of topic, is that, yes, okay, not every... No, I forgot what I was going to say. Gosh dang it. I used too many filler words. Anywho, I do have a bunch of items I just noticed, so let's use them. Because maybe I can grab a pack of cigarettes. One fund is okay, but we need more than that. We'll carry the flashlight with us. The pocket knife is going to be useful, but I do have to use it. That's a very specific nuance to the pocket knife, in that you have to use it to get its value. If you get a pocket knife for free, it doesn't really matter if you skip out on using it. But if you basically went into the hardware store to use the pocket knife, or whatever, if you enter a shop to get the pocket knife, you want to be using it somewhere, because otherwise all you did is just lose resources. Minimum 3 to 4% doom. So yeah, so for example, we can use it here. Do I want to use it here? 6 knowledge? No. Nah, my sever action is slower. That is one of the most... That is a lot more harmful. Now, most is a bit too exaggerated, but this is a very bad effect to get your sever speed changed. And by extension, spiritual action speed. But really, if you target sever at any point, whether it's indirectly or directly, my throat, yeah, it's not great. I think we actually have the pocket knife here. I could just take 3 reason damage. I don't want to, though. So this pocket knife, in another instance, it's 4 doom, decreases doom by 4, and we also save 3 reason there. So that was the overall worth of that pocket knife use. Now, that being said, we're still gambling, but at least Sensor Bunny will go up. I really hope I remember what I was going to say earlier, but I guess that's not going to happen. What I can say is that there is something to note about the Perm plugin, and that is, if I can remember, oh my goodness, I just forgot as I was saying it. Oh, nope, I forgot. Gosh dang it me. Why do I do this to myself? All right, deep breath. I don't like to leave dead air. In fact, dead air has hurt people as of recent, as we take Sensor Bunny off the screen. And let's get into mass murder here, because I think, yeah, if I recall correctly, this actually has a boss fight. We're also locked out of locations, but boy, oh boy, pain. But as we help the dog, we get an attack dog, which is very good. Funny enough, if you have Fame, these dogs would be very, very helpful. I don't know if this character has it, though, because I didn't check their perk packs. But, yeah, not really much else to say on that point. I think we're still, well, depends on how much HP or damage we do. I was gonna actually say a compliment about Perm plugin. Usually I try to stay neutral, but in this case I forgot. But as we gamble on 95%, is that worth it? I don't think it's worth it. I think we actually throw dogs at this enemy, or we send dogs at this enemy, because they're not throwing dogs. That's my euphemism, metaphor. I'm so self-proclaimed writer, by the way. Actually, we did bonus damage there. We can just throw 2 dogs and be safe. Can I option select this? I think we can. Oops, I didn't option select correctly. Okay, good. We hit the kick. Okay, I didn't need to worry. I'm pretty sure you can send ally there. But anywho, my knowledge increases back-to-back encounters, and I forgot my second encounter at this point. I think it's the ghost. It was that ghost boy. But anywho, in another ghost encounter where, yeah, again, our sever action is absolutely shot. Actually, with 1 doom, we might as well look for the ghost ritual. I don't remember how to do the ghost ritual, so I'm just gonna do my best because I don't want to pull up the tree. Yeah. We do want to spend the doom here because there is a chance you run into ghosts again. I don't think this is right. I think you're supposed to do something else. 2 claps, 3 bows. And I think we move this to the left. We move 1 bow to the left, question mark? Am I going crazy? I might be going crazy. I'm gonna go crazy. So, bow, clap, clap, bow, bow. Bow, bow, clap, clap, bow, question mark? Am I going absolutely insane? I should be able to guess the ritual by now, by the way. The unfortunate part is that I'm going absolutely crazy. So we're gonna just mix up the clap some bows at this point. Now I'm just guessing. I really should remember the tree, but it's because I don't often do this. So one of the bells is in the right spot. Well, does that mean it's bow, clap, bow, clap, bow? Question mark? Okay, it was. I don't think that was guaranteed. I don't think I logicked out the only remaining possibility. I'm pretty sure that was still a guess. But anywho, that's our ritual for this mystery. And 3 Doom, pretty much, or maybe it was even 4 Doom for that, was pretty worth it, actually, in my opinion. We do have a mangled hand, but you know what? We're locked out of the hospital in this mystery, so we're going to look for any other source of damage. And what I mean by that is, I want to be able to throw a bunch of items. In fact, I might even do this. I'm going to do that really quickly. I'm not sure about that. We do have fame, by the way. Okay, so good to know. Unfortunately, we have other problems. I think this boss does all damage, so I'm just going to play it safe here and heal Reason. We already have fame, so any stat increase, I usually take stat increases for the purposes of speeding up actions or making the brace action faster, but since fame essentially serves that duty, that's why I was more comfortable with recovering HP. I really wanted to compliment the perm plugin on something. I am really forgetting. But could take a risk here. This is like 70% because we need to hit 3 out of 4 of these. I can also option select. That means we only need to hit 2. And okay, good. That's not the fastest reaction you have to do, but meh. Basically, what happens there is that you wait for the 4th attack, and you have to react to whether or not you miss or hit. I might as well explain it as we're going through this, because I don't know if I've even ever explained it in total. Basically, what I mean by option select, throw item. So option select, throw item, or OSTI, I mean, I don't know, I'm just coming up with the words on the fly, but you get what I mean. So what that means is that if I don't defeat an enemy with the action I load in the action sequence, then I throw an item to make sure the enemy dies. Now, obviously, the requirement here is that the item that you throw, based on the possibility you're thinking about, I'm going to use a lot of words here, so sorry if I confuse, but so say I need to do 12 damage, and I can do up to 24 damage with 6 damage attacks, then in that case, so say I need to hit 2 out of 4 attacks, you don't need to worry about that much, because all you need to do is look at the last attack, and react to whether or not you miss the attack, and if so, then you prepare you preemptively prepare the item to throw, in this case a brick, and then if you see that you're basically looking down at the chat, and if you see that your last attack misses, you know that the enemy is not defeated, so you throw the item to defeat them before they hit you with damage. This is a very helpful trick to do, unless it gets patched out, but I would imagine the handcuff tech gets patched. Because that's technically a bug before this, unless it's not a bug and we just decide to roll with it. But again, there's no explicit rule that states that you can't throw items while you're launching an action sequence, or that you can't use items, in this case the handcuffs, while you're launching your action sequence. So that's all I wanted to say. Also, we have a mangled hand and we have 10 funds. I don't know why I'm sitting here. So we do get a discharge summary. That's very helpful, in fact. But the other thing I want to do is grab a pack of cigarettes. In fact, we might grab 2. But because this character has Quick Shopper, that's why I'm a lot more eager to use this. In fact, don't we go... Yeah, we break even. So you visit the vending machine for 2 Doom, but then you buy an item with Quick Shopper, and Doom decreases by 2. So these are essentially just fun costs for the cigarettes. And we also can grab Improvise. We could grab... Did Aaron just 6 all of my stats, by the way? Anywho. If so, we're going to take Strength and then Improvise. Hopefully we level up again. We do have 2 mysteries left. We have a good chance of leveling up, actually. On that note, I think I'm just going to take the gamble here. This is effectively 50-50. It's better than 50-50, but it's pretty much 50-50. And yeah, we're in Mermaids. Oh... I'll think about it. Yeah, I'll think about it. This character apparently has 8 luck, because I know I used the corpse dust, I believe. So, and at this point, we might as well smoke the cigarettes, because 2 uses at around the middle of your second mystery, you should have enough cigarettes to cover everything. Most mysteries don't go above like 8 to 9 investigations. Period. That's the end of the sentence. Now, we don't want to throw the flashlight, but I want to keep a light source with us anyway, so I guess we'll store the handcuffs, and we'll store the library notes. But you never know, you could run into a human enemy. I guess I'll just take the handcuffs with me. with 2 to 3 items to throw, you shouldn't really need to worry about things. Also, the flashlight would help my perception with the army knife weapon, so I guess we'll find out. Nope, we're not going to defeat this enemy like that, so we're just going to take the burns and move on with life. We also have Fearful, but our reason is looking pretty okay, so I don't really mind. And just to guarantee I level up quicker, let's take experience there and move on with life. So we are in Sailors, but we can hold out just in case we get more items like that. But we do want to make sure we survive. Now, we are losing a lot of stamina. We're also getting a lot of items. At this point, I want to say Aaron has at least 10 effects that can grant you some kind of item. And if that's the case, that's quite a lot of items. You're not very likely... In fact, let me pull out the calculator. I'll pull up the calculator on a different setup, so I'm not slowing down OBS or World of Horror, but if I can type the word calculator correctly. But yeah, as we look at this man-eating plant, let's see how much damage we can get. So this is, I think, to me, as odd as this sounds, I think this is the most interesting part of World of Horror. Basically looking at how many attacks you'd like to gamble on. It's less... not intuitive. It's less engaging because enemies have low HP and they deal high damage. So if we ever have an enemy with more HP and does less damage, this kind of gameplay, it is gameplay, would be more interesting to see. And what I mean by this is how many attacks you like to gamble on. Because that can change whether or not you 2 or 3 turn an enemy, and in a game, again, with your HP values as low as they are, number-wise, it's important. It's important to save a turn of damage you're not taking. So that being said, we can throw a brick or the steak knife. In fact, I want to throw something lighter, so instead I'll throw the Kendall helmet, which could save me stamina damage here, but I'm going to hope. I'm still going to queue up the brick in case something happens, but we thankfully do hit the attack, and off we go. But yeah, gambling on how many attacks you can do is, it actually comes up more than a few times. So let me just do this calculation. So let's assume there are 35 investigations per run of World of Horror. In that case, I need to throw 2 items away. Probably the Eldritch Amulet. If I need the reason in the end, I'm going to be very sad with myself. But we also should use painkillers because I want to keep something to throw. We'll throw the library notes away, grab the torch. But yeah, so assume they're 35. So 35 to... Wow, this can't... Why does this... Oh, because that's on basic. I'm going crazy. I was about to say, Linux doesn't have a calculator. Anywho. And yes, I have not figured out how to get the perm plugin on working on Linux. Yeah, period. That's the end of the sentence. Oh my sweet goodness. I could just... No, I can't run from this enemy. We do get a lot of damage guaranteed, so what would I be gambling on? 90%. I couldn't even fit another attack boost if I wanted. So... yeah. I think if we just throw the steak knife, we're okay. Or the brick. Either one will do. Yeah. So, I should have just gambled just to see if I would have hit 90%. I think we needed to hit... No, we needed to hit 90% anyway. I'm going crazy. Anywho. Let's get out of this. I'm going to save this level up for later. And maybe this character has, like, my weird collection or something. But if so, that would be very sad for me. But... my goodness. Let me just do this calculation really quick. 90% to the power of 35, I think. So there is a there's a 2.503% chance, or 2.5% chance, really, that you never get a single item during an errand run, on average. Which means you're guaranteed to get at least like 1, maybe 2 items. The chances are probably a little... Well, actually, no, that's not true. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I said I was going to look at the lighthouse. I did not. So I guess we're just going to double up on knowledge to try and save some stamina here. We need a bit more stamina. And I think that Ghost Boy was our second encounter. Now, funny enough, we found out what the Ghost Ritual was. Oh, we don't have the second encounter check anyway. We found out what the Ghost Ritual was, and we don't have the... we don't have the second encounter check anyway. So, this should be a slam dunk, but you never know, right? So, we'll just take it careful here. Roll rest once and move on. But, I really forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say something about the perm plugin that I felt was really important, but I guess I'll remember it. Unless I remember it at the end here, which would be really strange, but hey. And yeah, off we go. So, we have a bunch of spells. Not that we need them all, but... doesn't matter at this point, so we'll throw the brick, we'll throw the torch. We have a flashlight, so we can throw the torch as well. Did I even say torch twice? Well, anywho. And we'll arrest Takashi-san after he's on the ground because we don't need these items anymore anyway. That being said, Aaron can still hurt us here, so if nothing else, Aaron is certainly the RNG god, because a lot of the time on Harbinger, I wouldn't even say like 75% or more, but if you're less controlled about your strategy in World of War, it's very likely you enter the lighthouse with like 85 to 90% or higher Doom, which means Aaron can just give you like a few Doom, or even 6 Doom if you're really unlucky, and the run's over. So yeah, we'll just up our charisma twice now that we need to, roll this dice on the top of the lighthouse, and we'll be done with it. So without further ado, I forgot what I was going to say, but if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, you know what to do, you know the end of the video sounds like. I'm not going to take up much more of your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!